Have you ever enabled the like, hey, would you like this web page to be able to put desktop notifications on your actual computer? Like, have you ever turned that on?
Very, very rarely. But yes. Yeah, I think for like Discord maybe or Slack.
Discord?
Yeah, like when you open Discord in your browser instead of downloading the app.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Or like Slack or those kinds, like a messenger. Like that would be the only time I would ever say yes. Otherwise, like, you've gone to this news site. Do you want this news site to say no, never. How dare you ask?
Yeah. Do you want like breaking news alerts from, New York Times? It's like, well, it's one thing when it's New York Times. It's a whole nother thing when it's Wowhead. Like, do I need that much wow news in my life that I would give it permission to give me desktop push notifications about Wowhead?
No.
That is the correct answer. No. I agree that anything messaging wise, like instant messaging especially, and possibly email if you're on a computer that doesn't have a mail client, I could see it. But like those are things you want. But like nobody gets to push that kind of notification just like randomly.
I mean, Chris, to be fair, I'm also extremely stingy or strict or conservative, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to push notifications on my phone.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Like, very few applications are allowed to send notifications on my phone because I'm a zero notification, zero inbox kind of guy. Like, if I see notifications on my phone, I'm reading them and clearing them. So, like, I don't let anything send notifications to my phone. And then I'm even more strict. I love the notification settings in iPhone because I'm even more strict about like email notifications. Like for work, they can't pop up as a banner. They don't ping. They don't put a logo or a number on my home screen, but they do show up on my lock screen. Like just silently, they silently appear on my lock screen. So if I happen to look at my lock screen, there they are, but they're not going to like wake my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started using the scheduled summary thing that came out 1 or 2 versions of iOS ago. So I have certain apps that I let them be in the scheduled summary that pops up, I think 3 times a day. You can choose how many times and what times that it shows up. So I have one that's like at, 10 afternoon or so I can like get like a midday update of some stuff. But like, and then I have one that goes at like 10 p.m. or something at the end of the day. And maybe
my opinion is if you have that many things such that you need a summary of your notifications, you have too many notifications.
It's not really that because I actually don't get that many notifications. In fact, I barely get any notifications. But if it's an app where it's something that I know is not going to be timely, I expect it to not be frequent, but I want to know if that app thinks that it needs to have sent me a notification, if that makes sense. Sure. Then I will set those to go to the scheduled summary. Otherwise, most everything is like turned off. I think I might even have a lot of the like Uber and stuff turned off because they'll tend to push notification ads. And it's like, I don't want any of that. I'll turn on notifications in the occasion where I know I'm going to be using Uber. But like in general, I don't use Uber. So it doesn't need full-time notification permission.
I'm also a single tasker. So if I'm using Uber, that's staying open and on my phone screen.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, keep those notifications. I mean, no, it's not coming to my desktop. No, but even to my phone, to my watch, even less. I'm a big no for notifications. Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. My name is Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 132.
I have follow-up on my Keychron keyboard.
Okay. How'd it go?
Our post show last time, I gushed about Keychron. I'm still in that camp. Let me start by saying, still a big Keychron fan. But I made a mistake. You told me all about VIA, this piece of software that allows you to program it and kind of customize your keyboard and all that. I made a mistake in that I bought a keyboard that at the time did not realize didn't support VIA. So there are certain models of Keychron keyboards that don't support VIA, or I think QMK is the other one that does this, that they support.
Right.
Piece of software. And I bought a Keychron K5 SE, which is probably their like light version, their like made for Amazon version or something. It's a cheaper whatever. It was like $10 cheaper, so I bought it. I'm not thinking like, oh, I don't need anything super, whatever. And I'm going to use it wired. It's not like I needed wireless or Bluetooth or anything. So I just bought the cheap one. Turns out doesn't support VIA, but the K5 Pro does support VIA. So I returned it. I said, nope, I'm not keeping this. I am within my return window. And Chris, you know how much of a fan I am of utilizing that return window. And I'm on hold for a K5 Pro. Like I'm waiting out the exact one I want, and I'm waiting for it to come back in stock.
Are you sure that the exact one you want is one that they make for the K5 Pro?
It is on their website, so I know it exists. It is just kind of crossed out and blacked out.
Okay, because I only see red and brown switches on the K5 Pro on their website, and I know that you like those ridiculous clicky blue things.
Yeah, yes, those are the ones I want. Now you have me double checking, but I am 85% sure that what I saw on their website is K5 Pro. Oh, where'd they go?
No, I don't think they have them.
It was there the other day.
I think you were looking at something else.
No. I should have taken a screenshot.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you. Go to the white color of the K5 Pro and go to RGB backlight.
Ah, okay.
There are blues in that.
Yes.
There used to be blues in the black one too, but they are not there anymore. So I'm going to have to adjust my strategy here. And I was actually definitely thinking about this. So I think I could probably get away with browns.
You absolutely could.
They're still tactile. They're still kind of clicky, but they're a little quieter. I think I could get away with browns.
I mean, they click more. I don't know if it's the low profileness of them or something, but like they don't click like a key clicks, but there's some noise in the, the typing experience. The other thing you could do is get the browns, and if they're not okay, you could swap them if you get the hot swappable version.
Absolutely what I was thinking. So I was thinking about getting the browns hot swappable and then buying a bunch of blue switches, which are, I don't know, $15 plus shipping. So
$25 for a full set.
Oh yeah, look at that. $25.
I don't know. I mean, we don't have to go through your entire purchasing process on the air, but just something to think about.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would plan on doing. That's what I want to do. I will try the brown one. I will get the brown one. Whatever. And definitely want the Pro though. I'm definitely getting the Pro. I continue to run into the F5 versus functional of that key back and forth, or F7 or whatever. So I want to be able to program that how I want it.
Well,
and it's important to me.
Notice that the K5 Pro has those little PlayStation buttons above the number pad.
Yes. So I have even more buttons available to me.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that I'm sorry that you didn't find what you were looking for with what you had, but I'm glad that you realized it within the return window and are able to get what you actually need.
Okay, Chris, for our main topic today, I've been thinking about a really serious question when it comes to gaming. Really serious?
Like, are you done gaming? Like, are you giving up gaming? Like,
no. Like I'm not done gaming, and that's a good kind of preface to this because I'm not done. But I've definitely gotten way, way pickier with what I spend my time on.
Okay. So you're getting old, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. I don't have as much time, and I've started to really think about, like, is this game worth it? Is this game worth my time? Not just my money anymore, right? Like, I'm not even talking about, like, should I buy the game? But now I'm thinking, like, okay, I could have gotten the game somewhere already. Like from a Humble Bundle, or I already own it, or whatever. So that, like, decision's already passed. Like, I've already spent money on it, or it's already come with some pack. But then, I'm trying games, or I'm experimenting with free-to-play games, or whatever it is. And I've really started to ask the question, like, is it worth my time? And then kind of like a corollary to that, how do you decide when it's time to give up on a game and put it down? And I asked that question specifically in the context of without finishing it.
Right. Yeah, of course. I think that's a really interesting question because I struggle, I guess, sometimes with the feeling of being like just kind of default committed to a game if I start it, right? It feels like you should finish it. You should like put, oh yeah, I put, sunk cost, right? I put 8 hours into playing this game or whatever, but I'm, not having super much fun, but, I'm probably halfway through and you can look up, how long to beat or whatever. And, be, oh, well, yeah, okay. It says that it's 10-hour game. I'm 8 hours through. Like, do I want to keep going or is it really just such a slog that I don't need or want to see the end of this thing? And games are tricky because they're not like movies, right? They're not like, a movie, it's like, it's a 2-hour movie. I can sit and, another 15 minutes or whatever, and the movie will be over. I think have I ever walked out of a movie? We've talked about this. Anyway, but it's easier to sit through and stick it out with like a movie or something like that, which is also a form of entertainment that you've paid for, but it's much smaller and shorter form, and it doesn't require as much active participation as something like a video game.
Yes, that's a good point. You can nod off and go to sleep.
That's true. You can sleep. Yeah,
I've had this exact experience that you're describing. Like, am I pot committed to this game or not? Very recently. And this is kind of what made me think about this whole question. It's not alone in its, it's not the only one that I've made a decision about recently, but we got Stray Gods with a humble bundle, a humble choice monthly recently. You and I just came in a pack, and that was something that I was considering getting. I'm into musicals. I like video games. Okay, a mashup of the two sounds kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing it, and I'd played like 4-ish hours of it. Okay. Just kind of get through the story, getting the whatever, and kind of going through it and seeing how it works and how, whatever. And I wasn't really having a great time, but I was kind of like, okay, this is still kind of novel. Like, I get what they're trying to do here, but I'm not really enjoying myself. So I looked up how long to beat, and I was like, okay, this game's supposed to take like 6 to 8 hours to beat. I'm like 3 to 4 hours in. Should I keep going and just finish it? Like, should I do it just to check it off? And that was a really hard decision for me because I'm sitting there saying, I'm like really not enjoying my time. Like, I think I'd rather be doing something else, but I'm so close to finishing it. Like, what do I do here?
I think at that point, you kind of have to realize that nobody is really keeping score. Like, nobody else cares if you finish this game or not, because it's not like it's a buzzy, zeitgeisty kind of a game that you're going to talk about with all your friends. Like, it's not, I mean, you could talk about it with me. I mean, I got it also, but I haven't played it, sort of on your recommendation. But nobody's keeping score on whether or not you finish this game. Like, your Steam achievement count just doesn't matter. Like, I stopped caring about that so long ago, right? Like, it's just not going to be a thing. Like, it doesn't matter to anybody else but you.
And I think that's a line I crossed, I don't know, a year or two ago, where I was just like, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, I'm not enjoying it. I have to just stop. I'm not going to waste another 3 to 4 hours on this. But there's a point, there's a line, right? Like, where do I keep trying and where do I pull back? Like, is this fun at all? Is it novel at all? Is it innovative? Is it, like, where's that line? And, sometimes it's really hard to find like where it is, but I would say that line for me is getting further or closer and closer to the beginning of the experience as I get pickier and pickier. I know about this next example, but I think I said this at the beginning of the Steam Summer Sale. Is I got Hack Tag for $2, mm-hmm. which is that co-op, like, I don't know, hacker whatever game. We tried it for like 25 minutes. And in that one, I actually took advantage of the Steam refund. I was like, nope, This is not going to be a fun game. We are not putting more time into this. We are done. And I got my $2 back.
Wow. Good for you. You get to take that one off the tally at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think I'm willing to give a game a little bit more time, or like give it another chance kind of a thing, if I know that it's a game that's like really well reviewed. Like if it's something where everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is the best game I ever played, I wish I could play it again for the first time. Like we were talking about Outer Wilds, right? Like if I play Outer Wilds for 20 minutes and I don't get it, or maybe an hour, and I'm just not, it's not quite getting there yet, I would look at the idea that everybody else seems to love this game. Either it's something with me or something with them. At that point, I might go look up a guide to get me further faster in a game like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then say, okay, well, obviously people like this for some reason. Let me kind of speedrun it a little bit, right, and get a little bit of help to get there. I mean, you could also just look up a YouTube video of what the grand reveal is, but that's no fun. I think there's a middle ground where you go figure out, especially for a puzzle game, you figure out like, okay, can you give me hints for the first 2 puzzles or something to get me over the hill?
Okay, well then I've got one for you.
Okay.
What did you do to get back into Baldur's Gate 3?
Well, I haven't gotten back into Baldur's Gate 3, so what do you mean?
No, I just that is one that is kind of on my pile of shame. Like it's such a well-reviewed game. It's objectively the game of 2023 or 2024, whichever, I don't know.
Yeah, Game Award, Game of the Year winner or whatever, or almost Game of the Year winner.
Every Game Award, like everyone.
Yeah.
And I just never picked it back up.
See, I draw a different line, and maybe I shouldn't, but I draw a different line on Baldur's Gate because I intend to go back to that game, and I'm probably going to end up playing it solo. Probably. I mean, I might get one other friend to play it or something. But for me, I was willing to give that one quite a bit of time and leeway, primarily because of the collaborative experience of it, like the fact that you could play it with people. We discovered that maybe 4 people was too many people. Potentially. But I think 2 people is probably the right number, or 1, I suppose. I know some people that are like, I'm starting my 6th playthrough of Baldur's Gate, and I don't think I've seen all the endings or whatever. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, I never made it through my first one, but I would like to go back and try. So I don't put that in the, like, I put it down forever and quit early pile. I put it in the, my friend stopped playing it pile. But maybe that's just shifting the blame. But I obviously haven't come back and done anything with it since then. So it's still on my someday list. It's not on my I gave up on this because I didn't like it list.
Okay, so you kind of differentiate the conscious decision to put something down and not play it again versus like just not coming back to it because of time or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I actually want to play Baldur's Gate. I want to try it on the Steam Deck of all things, and see how it goes, because I know it can run on the Steam Deck. I just don't know how well. And if it runs almost good but not quite good on Steam Deck, then on the Steam Deck 2, I will absolutely play it.
I'm in the same situation I'm in the same situation for Baldur's Gate, but also for Hi-Fi Rush. I liked Hi-Fi Rush. I thought it was pretty good, but like it's never drawn me back for more. And I want to go back, but I don't know that I'm ever going to go back. Like, I guess that's kind of the same. I haven't consciously decided to put Hi-Fi Rush down, even though I haven't finished it, but I've just never gone back to it. And I feel bad about that. Like, I feel a guilty pile of shame, right? Like, this game that I have that I've never finished that is objectively very good and also, anecdotally for me, pretty good. I don't know. I guess when I guess part of this conversation is I used to feel that way, how I feel about Hi-Fi Rush, about not going back to it and not giving it the time it deserves, because I generally like it and it's very well reviewed. I used to feel that way about every game I played that I started and never finished. And that has shifted for me. I don't feel bad about not going back to Stray Gods.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about my own experiences lately, and like, I think there are some games that are like you go ebbs and flows with them, right? I mean, I played a lot of Hades 2 for a little while and I beat it, whatever, but I'm not done with that game by a long shot. Right. And I'm not waiting for anything particular. It's just that something else came along with more interesting in the moment. But like, I don't know if there's like a lull, or if like I'm on a trip, or if something, if the circumstances are right, I will go back to Hades 2. That's a little different than Baldur's Gate, because Baldur's Gate feels like such a commitment because it is such an RPG. Like that, it's like, am I going to be able to sit down for 100 hours and play this game? But Hades is like, do I have, 45 minutes or whatever? But I found myself going back to Hades 1 over the course of years, which I'm expecting to do for Hades 2 as well. So I think that there's games like that where it's just like you like them well enough and you'll put them on the list of like, man, I don't know what I want to play, but I do know I want to play something. Let me at least consider this one, and maybe it gets passed over, 9 times out of 10, but eventually you might go back to it.
I don't want this to turn into a review of The First Descendant. But were you surprised with how quickly I decided, nope, not coming back to this game?
I actually was very surprised. I mean, I guess not surprised from you specifically, but I guess I thought that we would have a little more staying power on that, because it's a game to play with people. And that I thought was a little bit, I thought that would save it. I thought that would keep it going for a little bit longer. Because I mean, I don't know that everybody knows, but we played First Descendant for, I think, one evening, like 4 to 6 hours.
I played for like 6 hours one day. Yes. And then the next day you messaged me like, yeah, I think I'm done with First Descendant. And I was like, whoa, okay. And I would say I'm okay with that. I'm actually fine with that decision. And it didn't bother me. Like sometimes I'm like, well, I was kind of enjoying this well enough, and I thought we had a kind of an okay thing going there. But this one, I'm with you. Like maybe not a review of First Descendant, but I wasn't getting much out of it that I couldn't get from other experiences, if that's the kind of thing I wanted to do. That's how I felt as well. I mean, again, not reviewing First Descendant, but we've totally devolved into a review of First Descendant. And that's, I mean, I guess that's part of the decision-making process, is like, what is this game giving me that another game wouldn't? Or what is this game giving me or making me feel or putting me through or whatever that I wouldn't feel somewhere else? And that was ultimately why I decided to put the First Descendant down, because it wasn't giving me a story that I wouldn't have gotten somewhere else, because the story was not good. It wasn't giving me gameplay that I wanted that I couldn't get somewhere else, because it had kind of Destiny mechanics and Warframe mechanics and, nothing I couldn't get somewhere else. And I like those games better. And I've spent time in them, and I have history in them, and I didn't need or want to invest time into another game when I could get the things I wanted from games I was already established in. The thing that would have saved the First Descendant for me is a good story, because I'm always willing to put the time in to experience a story.
Right. And once that stops being the case, then you lose motivation quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the problem with a lot of the Destiny 2 changes, right? After whatever, the last 2 or 3 expansions that we played, their story content was pretty slim. Like there wasn't that much new to go with on it.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, spoiler alert for Destiny 2, by the way. There's an expansion where Cade dies. Like, that was a great expansion.
Yes.
Right? The story in that was gripping and sad and emotional, and it was great. And then the next couple of expansions were, I mean, I think the Witch Queen was pretty good or okay. But there were some really bad ones in there. And then this newest one is getting really good reviews. And part of the really good reviews are that the story's really good. Surprise, surprise. Cade maybe comes back somehow, some way. I don't know. He was in the trailer. That's all I know. But like, that's a reason to go back to the game. And now Chris and I are, kind of deciding that like, hey, we'll go back to Destiny if it's getting these rave reviews and the story's pretty good. Because that is again something I wouldn't get anywhere else. It's a story and a set of emotions and an arc that I can't go play Warframe to get the Destiny 2 story. So I need to play Destiny 2, and I'll put the time into Destiny 2. The First Descendant did not have that.
You know what I realized, though, speaking of things like The First Descendant, we played New World longer than we played The First Descendant.
Yes, but here's what I'll give you on New World. I was experiencing gameplay and mechanics that I couldn't get elsewhere. There were kind of some new stuff in there.
Agreed. Yes, there were different UI elements. There were different mechanics of parties and dungeons and things. Like, it was some experimenting, and the leveling up of the gathering systems and the crafting systems was pretty cool.
And once that got boring, we were done.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it kind of hit me of like, we spent longer playing New World than playing First Descendant, and New World was like, I think, almost definitely, like definitively a not great game.
Yeah, but it had some elements of innovation, and I think that's the difference for me. I was also less picky back then.
Sure.
The last thing that falls into this category for me, not necessarily a game, but I was thinking through this, and I was like, when have I decided to put something down or say no or say I'm done? And I have recently experienced that with not necessarily the game Space Engineers, but what I'm considering like a certain save of Space Engineers. Mm-hmm. So I was playing and I was trying to experiment with stuff, and I got to the point where I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm all right. I did what I wanted to do. I'm good here. Like, I don't want to put any more time into this. That one felt a lot more like I had achieved what I set out to, or I knew I could achieve what I had set out to, and I didn't need to prove it to myself. Like, oh, it just becomes a resource gathering grind at this point, and it's not really an achievement anymore. Now it's just a time sink. And that's when I decided to pull back. And I know that's kind of happened in Factorio too, where we have said, okay, well, what do we do from here? And really the answer is more of this. And that's when, I'm not saying Factorio or Space Engineers is kind of a put down, but or to put it down, it's that certain save. It's okay, well, we're done with this run.
Yeah, I mean, once you can see, and I think it happened most recently with us a little bit. I mean, there were some real life things happen too, but we were playing Factorio, and we started a run with the space exploration expansion, right? Or not expansion, but mod. But then that was also around the time that all of the Space Age, which is the name of the actual expansion, all of that news started to come out. And it really started to feel like, wait a minute, if I want to play this kind of game in Factorio, if I wait 6 months, it will be better and more official and better tuned and less grindy to play the expansion than it would be to play this mod whose point is sort of to take a long time.
Yeah.
So I felt like we kind of had the right inflection point there, the right time to stop, of being like, okay, I understand how multiple planets work. I understand how space platforms work. I understand the concepts of all these things. And the guy that made that add-on is working at Factorio making the expansion. So the expansion is probably going to be pretty close to that. And now I feel like we're really prepared for that expansion to come out. Like, I think we're ready to jump into it immediately when it comes. But at the time, putting down that particular save was probably the right thing to do.
Yeah, I'm happy you agree, because we kind of just lost it on that one. But I agree. I mean, essentially what happened was you kind of pointed it out. We learned how all of the kind of the systems work. We maybe didn't do it all, but it wasn't. There were kind of like, we had kind of gotten to the point where there were really no more huge hurdles, maybe, is kind of how I was looking at it. And if there were, they started to get really grindy, and we knew that, the next best thing was coming out October 21st, by the way. We know now. Mm-hmm. October 21st. We didn't know at the time, but we know now, October 21st. So I'm glad we kind of put it down when we did. We knew that going in, like we had kind of said, oh, well, the space exploration and space age coming out. So I guess I can sum it up, and maybe you can qualify this or change it. But I decide to put a game down without finishing it when it no longer is providing me some kind of joy or excitement or emotion from a story element or from a pride and accomplishment, angle, or when it is no longer driving me to learn more about the game itself. I think those are kind of the two criteria, where at least one of them has to be true for me to continue playing a game.
I think I agree with you, although I will say that for me personally, my bar is a lot lower if there is a social aspect to it.
That's a good point.
Like if it's something I can play with people and the people are enjoying it and I am getting enough fun out of it, like if it's not actively terrible for me, I will probably hold on to something a lot longer if it's an excuse to hang out in Discord with my friends. Like I've gotten a little bit more picky and I'll be like, okay, I'll just sit and play my own, either single player or other multiplayer game while people do stuff. But I would rather be part of the thing if it's a game that I like, if it's a game that I'm, reasonably okay at and such. Because it's fun to play with other people and have a shared goal and have a shared, experience and do that stuff. But I don't play as much like Rocket League, for example, as I used to. Still fun. I actually, like a week or two ago, played some Rocket League. And I was actually not terrible at it, which was shocking to me. But that's a game that I play mostly for the people and not because I absolutely love, rocket car soccer. So I would qualify the pieces that you said in addition to the social aspect.
I like that.
I wanted to take us in a slightly different direction because as you're hearing this episode, the World of Warcraft War Within pre-patch has come out and the pre-patch event has started. So we're recording just a little bit early, so we don't know how it's going, but I think that we'll be playing it, shortly after it comes out, and maybe in our next episode we can really get into it. But I wanted to give us a brief look ahead at what is coming. And so if you're on the fence about what's in the pre-patch, do I have to wait for the expansion? You have the opportunity to kind of see what's coming now and what's coming later.
Can I ask maybe a preemptive question?
Sure.
And everyone will know the answer to this, but help me out here, I guess. The pre-patch is July 23rd.
Correct.
The event, as you called it, was July 30th.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference? What is the event, I guess, is really what I'm asking.
Yeah, I guess you've never been part of a WoW expansion ever, huh?
Not this early, no.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the pre-patch part of it. So what they do is they do a basically when a new patch comes out, it gets a new major number, right? A new version number. So right now we're on
11.0, right?
Or whatever. This is going to be 11.0. Yep. So what they do is they put out the 11.0 on July 23rd. And then on the 30th, they start this thing that they're calling the event. And what it basically is a story bridge into the next expansion. So in the case of Dragonflight, I forget exactly what it was, but it was starting the dragon kind of conflict or whatever. And it kind of is it was preparing for the expedition to go to the Dragon Isles. It was the Alliance and the Horde gathering supplies, and I don't know if there's some combat aspect to it. I forget why, but you were getting stuff together so that you could go on this expedition to go to the Dragon Isles. So it's kind of like an in-world reason for the next expansion to be happening. I think when they did Shadowlands, that's when the giant sword showed up. Maybe was when the pre-patch, and then once the expansion came out, you could actually go to the Afterlife place or whatever.
So I guess you're about to talk about some of the features and some of the things that are coming with the pre-patch. The pre-patch on July 23rd, that's the 11.0 game features is what I guess I'm putting down. Whereas the July 30th is maybe a lot of the vertical progression starts along with story elements. Is that fair to say?
It's not really vertical progression. It's more catch up. So it's hey, I have a level 70 character that I just got to level 70 and let it sit, and now all of his item level is 400 or whatever, and the new baseline item level is going to be 520, right? It's I need to get somewhere within a stone's throw of the current content. So the pre-patch event actually gives you a pretty easy on-ramp and a pretty easy way to get what they call catch-up gear. So in this case, it's going to be item level 489 1 of 8 champion, which means it's upgradable, and actually fairly upgradable gear that your characters can get pretty easily by doing an event that happens every 30 minutes.
Gotcha. Okay. But that doesn't start until the 30th.
Correct. That started on the 30th.
Gotcha.
There's also a couple of other things that I thought were pretty cool as far as rewards for that pre-patch event, which include a 32-slot bag and a 30-slot reagent bag, which I think you just get as random drops by doing these events. So people will be doing them to try to get those drops so that they can get bigger bags, because you always need bigger bags in WoW.
Wait, and you can get multiples?
No, you can get one. I think it's one each.
One per tune or whatever?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you can get multiples. I'm not sure.
That'd be nice.
That would be really nice.
All of the bag slots.
Tailors will hate it.
Okay, you're right. Maybe not. Maybe one per tune, but that's still nice.
Yeah, it is. They give you this nice thing. Yeah, you can actually, no, you can buy as many as you want. So you get them with a currency. The way that this works for this one is that there's some
so
event currency.
It out. Nice.
Yeah, so if you want to, you can. You can also get an heirloom ring from this pre-patch event, which is great. But it's time limited to only this pre-patch event, so you have to do it during that time. So that's something that kind of incentivizes you to play during that time, because once the actual expansion comes out, you can no longer get that heirloom, basically.
I'm down. I'm always asking about the heirlooms. I like the functional stuff.
Right, exactly. Heirlooms are very functional because they automatically raise an eye level as your character is leveling up. It's really good for leveling alts.
The 23rd pre-patch, it comes with a lot of features. I guess I've read a lot about it. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. There's a bunch of stuff coming. Chris, do you have like something that you're most excited for or most looking forward to?
I'm actually pretty interested in the class talent trees. I haven't looked at them at all. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're kind of a nothing burger, but like, I am curious to see. I always like talents because they're kind of like passive things that you get, you know, and a little bit of player expression, although typically I just find a build and do that.
Yeah.
But I like that you can, you know, they're adding more ways for classes to kind of have those traits and things, and differentiate the classes a little bit more. So I think I'm excited about the class talent trees. And other than that, I mean, everything is going to be cool, but not until the actual expansion comes out, I think.
Right. How excited are you, or how much do you plan to have a wider array of characters ready to go?
Well, right now I want to say 4 level 70 characters, 4 max level characters right now, maybe 5.
How many did you keep up with at any point during Dragonflight?
1.
Yeah, same, right? Like you maybe had a second character that was
1.5
close-ish. Yeah, okay. But never like more than one character kind of near or at that top level.
No, I had 2 characters at level 70, maybe 3 characters at level 70, and only one of them was current eye level. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your plan in regards to that now, especially with warbands and the account-wide stuff and the I would say amazing quality of life things coming for alts?
I am looking forward to doing a little bit more alt stuff. I think it will be great for the reputation pieces, because those were always the things that were annoying to do on alts. I don't know how much it's really going to help me for the equipment and item level pieces of it, because the characters that I'm thinking about playing would be like, I play a frost mage, and then I'll probably also play a druid, right? I'll play a bear tank, right? A druid, guardian druid. So those don't use the same kinds of armor, right? The mage is cloth and the druid is leather. So I don't know how much advantage I'm going to get from them being in a warband.
Can I tell you the one thing I'm most excited about for alt quality of life, or account? Forget alt quality of life. I'll just call it account-wide progression.
Okay.
The thing I am most excited about for account-wide progression is the Delves NPC player.
Oh, really?
Because I'm always trying to like what's that next class, or like what should I try, or what am I gonna like, or how do I catch up to my friends without having to do a bunch of pug groups or get carried.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I can now do open world or solo progression, but help that progression out by progressing on my main, I'm so excited by that. I'm very, very hopeful that system works in such a way that I like, and that helps and that is good for me, where I can progress my delves to the highest levels on my main, right? That's kind of my plan. But then as you progress, God, I forget his name, but there's an NPC that you can take on delve runs with you. That progression for that NPC is account wide. So you go and do it on your second character. He's much more powerful because you've progressed him on your main, which helps you level up your delves on your alts, which pushes higher gear on your alts faster, but you can do it solo. You can do it by yourself. You don't have to burden anyone else. You can kind of do it at your own pace. You can learn a new class while you do it. I don't know. I'm really excited about that element of it.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really considered that. I'm not usually leveling alts like that, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
Are you planning on joining any guilds?
Well, I have a guild that I was there was like this group that I would raid with fairly regularly, and they were like, "Oh, you want a server transfer? I was like, "No, I don't want to server transfer all my stuff again." So now I might join their guild just for lack of having a different guild to join. Because right now I'm not in any particular guild. I'm just, I think I'm in some random guild so that people stop randomly inviting me to guilds. But
so you get 15-minute Hearthstones. That's why I joined one.
Oh yeah, that's a good reason too. I forgot about that. I'm a mage. I have teleport. I don't care.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
yeah. So sorry. But anyway, yes, I might join them just because it would be fun to have a guild that is relatively active and like does raids and stuff. And then all of your activities can cross over on leaderboards and stuff, so you can be part of a guild, and your guild can, progress on raids and stuff, and that'll be really cool. So I'm probably going to join that guild at least to start, and then see where we go from there.
So do servers matter at all anymore for anything?
Barely. I think the only thing that's going to still be server anything related is probably going to be trading of items and the economy, like the auction house. Other than that, I don't know, because I'm not sure if you'll be able to, if you're in a guild, if you'll be able to trade items like consumables, like flasks and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, but there's warband banks now. You can transfer stuff.
But your warband, does it have to be on the same server?
No.
Oh. Okay,
and
well,
there's
then I have no
cross-realm
idea.
guilds, which means you can transfer stuff in the guild bank to each other too. I assume, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So the economy, maybe they'll do it one step at a time, where they'll let the economy kind of balance out by people doing this and transferring stuff to high gold things, and all of the economy will settle out over the next 6 months, and then they'll say auction houses are combined.
Maybe.
That's what I would do.
Well, there you go.
I'm not an economist though.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm also not sure how much WoW. There must be people that care, but like Eve basically has. I'm sorry, I mentioned Eve, but Eve basically has economists on staff, right? And they like publish all of their like state of the economy, and they have one big economy, and that's their whole thing. I don't know if Blizzard is as meticulous about their in-game economies.
I'm certain of it, and let me tell you why I'm certain of it.
Okay.
Because Guild Wars 2 has one on staff.
Okay. Well, then sure, yes, they certainly do.
And if Guild Wars 2 has one on staff, then World of Warcraft has at least one, if not a team of economists on staff.
Oh, that's a good point, and I think you're right.
The reason I know Guild Wars 2 has one is because we have seen job postings for it. Very interested in how that's going to all work out. Cross-realm guilds, essentially, unless they build something in, open the floodgates to cross-realm trading. And theoretically, so do warbands, because warbands do not need to be on the same server. I think this is leading us towards a super server of some sort, which is the way it should be going. I mean, that's the way of MMOs now.
Right. Yeah. They should just be going in the one big instance, especially as, one of the biggest barriers, I would say, to like playing with your friends is like, you can't join a guild with them right now. I mean, you will be able to. I mean, I guess right now you can, but as we record, you can't join a guild with your friends right now if they're not on the same server. So, they've at least solved that.
Are there any other barriers to not being able to play with your friends? Because I remember the last time I played, you couldn't dungeon queue with the opposite faction. Is that gone now?
Oh, I don't know if
that's the only other one I know
across factions is available. I know that like grouping across factions is okay. Like you can do Mythic Plus and you can do raiding, but I'm not sure. I think that's changing here too.
Okay, because that's the only other barrier I know about, and that would be kind of the last barrier to playing with your friends, right? Because Alliance is so much better than Horde.
Oh boy. Feedback to Jason at pnapodcast.com. Moving on from that uncomfortable topic, which I agree with you about, but don't tell anyone. What else? Anything else for WoW? Have you gotten your like magic statue of Epic Edition magic or whatever?
Good point. No, I haven't. And it has not indicated to me that it is shipped. I need to check on that. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, because you're going to need that.
I'm going to need that soon.
Yeah, like now.
I can play the pre-patch without the expansion, right?
I think that's true, yes.
Okay. So I could buy 30 days of game time. That's not a big deal. And I'll just get 30 more. But I'm going to need it come August.
August 26th. August 23rd.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to need that by then for sure.
Just so you know, Delves will not be in the pre-patch.
No, yeah, I think those are isolated to just the new area, right?
I think so, yeah. Outdoor content, yeah.
Yeah. I guess last question for me, have you been keeping up with any of the lore of this expansion?
I have not. That's the other thing is that I think in the pre-patch, maybe it's the expansion. I don't know when the new cinematic comes out, right? You know how they always do those really nice CGI cinematics? It's either on the day of the pre-patch or on the day of the expansion, and I don't know which one. So I have not kept up with the lore. Don't remember what the BlizzCon thing was with Chris Metzen and all of that. I was excited at the time, but something about going inside the planet, but that's all I really know.
The other thing, I guess, to keep in mind, and I know this is kind of looking ahead, but this expansion comes out August 26th, officially. The next one is theoretically only 18 months away.
What? Really?
I thought they said they were going to an 18-month release cycle.
Oh, wow.
For the trilogy, right? The whatever the trilogy of the 3 expansions is.
Yes, they're doing the World Soul Saga, yes. But was it 18 months or 2 years? I thought it was 2 years.
Well, 2 years is normal for them.
Is it? Is it 2 years, 3 years?
No, it's 2 years.
Oh, okay. Cool. Shows how much I know about
Am I wrong? Am I totally wrong about this?
No, you're correct. I'm thinking it's been 2 years since
it's been
Dragonflight.
It's been 2 years, yeah. Because there's been 4 seasons of 6 months. And the 4th season was a waste.
Well, yeah, that's unfortunate.
But they,
yes.
I mean, they did Mr. Pandaria and they did Plunderstorm and they did all this other stuff, right? They did other stuff to keep people engaged, which is cool. I mean, it's nice, but someone correct me if I'm wrong, and you know how to get in contact with us. And I'll if you don't, I'll say it in a couple minutes. But I'm pretty sure they said that they are shooting for an 18-month release cycle for this trilogy of expansions, which means, and it kind of fits with 3 6-month seasons.
Yes, that would be perfect if they can actually do 3 raids. Like if they can do a raid every 6 months perpetually, then that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's rapid, but let's hope.
I did a little bit of real-time follow-up looking up of things, and they said a little faster was the quote that they gave about when these would be coming out.
All right, 20 months instead of 24 months.
Yeah, really.
But that's still fast.
It is.
That would put the next one in what? August, July, like June 2026?
6.
I can do math. That's quick. That's quick. I mean, we haven't even experienced this one, so whatever. But I keep the pace up. That's cool. That's fun.
I mean, Guild Wars is really bringing it with their annual expansions or whatever. So WoW has to keep up.
You think that's who's pushing them? Yeah, for sure.
Maybe.
I think the answer is more like Call of Duty has found out that it's a good idea.
Okay, fair enough.
I think Call of Duty, which, I mean, again, same company, didn't they coin the term annualization of expansions?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I think they did. Okay, well, let us know what you're doing in the pre-patch, because I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be playing. I'm planning on leveling alts during the pre-patch, both in Mist and Pandaria and potentially in the normal Chromie time, which will include Dragonflight now.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we mentioned. So Dragonflight is now Chromie time thing. Chromie time goes all the way to level 70 as of pre-patch. So you can get all the way to level 70 in Chromie time. I will be doing that. I also have a couple of boost tokens to use, which I'm just going to go ahead and use when the pre-patch comes out. So I'll be there. But also, let us know what you think about when it's time to put something down. We have a lot of... I think we probably have a lot of opinions across our friend group on that. But also maybe some more opinions across the listeners. So if you want to do that, or if you want to kind of join up, or I don't know, do anything with World of Warcraft, let us know by joining our Discord, which you can get to at discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find any of our older episodes or read our show notes, I'll put a link in there to the Wowhead article about what's coming in the pre-patch and all of that, which is out by the time you hear this, but it still is a good handy reference if you need it. If you want to find any of that stuff, you can go to our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you're enjoying the show, we would love if you could share it with some others that might enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
Chris, did you get your email from Xbox Game Pass yet?
Ooh, email. I don't know if I got the email, but I did see the news.
I got a lovely email in my inbox. I think it was today or yesterday that said, hey, changes coming to Xbox Game Pass. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll learn about the price increases.
Yeah, no, I got an email from Blizzard, actually. Speaking of WoW, I got an email from Blizzard that said, don't have Game Pass? Try 1 month of PC Game Pass. And so they were offering me a code for a month of PC Game Pass that's good for like 3 days or something, or I think a week. It's good for a week.
Does it include a World of Warcraft subscription?
No, it does not, but it should.
Okay, well then I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So what we paid for and upgraded to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I believe our 3-year effective rate was like something like $4.30 a month. Does that sound about right?
Something on the order of less than $5. Yeah.
Yeah. So that had been, I think they had already increased the price of that once from $15 to $16 or yeah, I don't know, something like that. Wherever it was prior to today, it is now going up to $19.99 a month for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Now, Ultimate is both PC and console, includes the Xbox Online Play, which it used to be called Xbox Gold or whatever, and now it's called Xbox Game Pass Core, and includes their cloud gaming, xCloud, whatever, where, you can play games in the cloud, stream to your whatever device you have. All that's included in that $19.99 a month. That is an increase, but is kind of all that wrapped into one.
That's still probably the best deal in gaming, even though it's more expensive.
If you play all of those games or you utilize it every single month, it's still a pretty good deal. I'm going to say, though, that the best deal in gaming for me has probably shifted to Xbox Game Pass for PC specifically.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Now, that doesn't include the cloud gaming, but it does include all of the games that you can play on your PC. it used to be $9.99 a month. It is now changing to $11.99 a month. So a $2 increase there, but that's still a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, $12, that's not bad.
The wrench in all of this, though, Chris, and the one I want to get your kind of opinion on, is they're adding a new tier called Standard, like Xbox Game Pass Standard, for $14.99 a month. It's kind of the new console tier because they're getting rid of Xbox Game Pass for Xbox, whatever the lowest tier was for them, because it includes the Xbox Online play, right? Xbox Gold or whatever you want to call it, in that $14.99 a month. It includes games, but it doesn't include day one games. So that the major one there is this goes into effect in September. Call of Duty comes out in October or late September. I don't remember.
There it is.
But this goes into effect prior to Call of Duty coming out, and Call of Duty is not included day one in Xbox Game Pass Standard.
Haha. So Call of Duty is included in Game Pass for PC, but it's not included in Game Pass Standard.
Correct.
Day one. That's sneaky. I mean, I get it. I understand why they would do it. And really, that just means that you have to bump up to the $20 a month one instead of the $15 a month one. And if all you do is play Call of Duty on your Xbox, then you should buy Call of Duty instead of paying for either of these things. But I don't know. That's weird.
Let me throw you a wrench on that too, because if you do that, remember you have to pay for Xbox Game Pass Core to be able to play Call of Duty online.
No, I no, I don't like this.
It feels like I know this isn't what they're doing, but it feels like they are pushing people to the PC market.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's true either. But man, from our vantage point, like, what other advice would you give someone?
Well, okay. What advice I would give someone is if you don't have a gaming PC, don't get the PC Game Pass. But if you're us, then sure, PC Game Pass makes much more sense.
No, the advice I would give someone is if you don't have a PC and you're frustrated by these things, go invest in a gaming PC. And I know that's not possible for everyone, but like, that's the advice here.
I suppose. But the difference is that Game Pass for Xbox day one gets a lot more games than Game Pass for PC. Because like more games come out console only. I mean, fewer and fewer as we go, but a lot of games don't come to PC. Well, at least they used to not come to PC.
And that list is really short now.
Yeah, and the value proposition was better. I mean, was you got more stuff out of Xbox for Xbox Game Pass for Xbox.
You did. You used to, but it's just the list of games that don't come out for PC that do come out for Xbox now is really short.
But I think that the Game Pass library, I would say, on Xbox console is greater and includes a whole bunch of like old Xbox 360 games and stuff too. And like, there's like, I don't know, 1,000 games on Xbox Game Pass for console, and there's like 100 games on Game Pass for PC. And granted, all of the new ones, all of the day one ones are on PC because they've started making things for both console and PC. But the library is still much bigger, I think, on the console only side.
I think that's true. And if those games are important to you, then $19.99 a month is worth it.
But I mean, for us, obviously, unless you need streaming, and if you don't own an Xbox console, then all you need is the PC Game Pass for $12.
Yes. I think I will be moving to that if I keep my subscription active at all.
I think I will move to nothing for a while and then, yes, also go to PC if need be.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll probably both get the PC one at the end of this year for a couple of the games coming out, but specifically Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's true. I absolutely will do Game Pass for Indiana Jones. And then while I'm there, I'll probably play a couple rounds of Call of Duty Zombies and then never touch it again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the plan. And it's going to turn into a very high churn subscription for me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Where I'm deciding month to month whether I keep it or not.
Now, if they decided to do something where it's like it's $12 a month or $100 a year, I might do that $100 a year.
Oh yeah. Yes, I would consider that.
Like, I will take the little bit of a lock-in for a decent break on the price.
Would you do it for $120 a year where you get 2 months free?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Okay.
Because I think I can get 10 months worth of value out of it, especially considering things like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it's two $60 games a year is essentially what you're talking about.
Right, exactly. I mean, you're talking about...
I think you'll get
2.5 $60 games a year if you just stay subscribed forever. But
that's true.
That half really matters.
The last thing on all of this, though, the last thing that they kind of snuck in right there at the end, when you and I did this super amazing upgrade all of our time thing, the step number one was to go buy 2 or 3 years worth of Xbox Gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have now said that you will only be allowed to have 13 months of credit on your account at any given time.
Ha.
So you can't really do this trick anymore.
Well,
you can for 13 months because they're still offering Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $1, but you can't go buy 36 months worth of it and upgrade it all for $1 anymore.
You know, it was fun while it lasted, but it's the end of an era.
The end of an era. Still the best deal in gaming, though.
Yeah, by far.